Hey guys, today I am back with a replay analysis for Rubick here. Old Balls McCloncock, very quality name. Crusader 6, although there's a bit of a scattering here. Watch replay. This is a 4-position Rubick. We're going to take a look. Saw this post on Reddit, as per usual. You're asking how to play this Rubick game. I like Rubick a lot. I see you have the Arcana, so I'm going to guess you like Rubick a lot as well. Zoom in a bit. Oh, nice. Featured. What are your stats? Oh, it doesn't show the Rubick one. Enchantress. So in terms of Rubick games, I don't see a, it's not like you picked Rubick into encoder and loading. Okay, hopefully the video doesn't have any, pausing issues. I think it should be okay. It might, freeze up a little bit here and there. Sorry, I'm still working on that. So as I was, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, I don't see a huge spell in here, so it's not like a Magnus or an Enigma where you're constantly looking for this huge spell to steal. You're looking for smaller spells, and looking at your lineup, I would say that. Let's start here. Enchantress. There's nothing you really want to steal from Enchantress, right? She's a hero that's good against Rubick because of this, right? You can steal her enchant and her heal. They're good spells, but they're are they really game changing for you? Not really. Lion, he's a pretty good one, right? Besides mana drain, which isn't amazing for you, both his stun and hex really good, especially because you have. There we go. Especially because you have Arcane Supremacy, which improves the debuff, right? So if we take a look at Lion stun, 2.6 seconds. Essentially add 50% roughly, right? So you're at a 4-second stun, which is pretty nice, especially when you take into account you have your own lift, and it combos very well in the late game. It's surprising to people why am I stunned so long? It's really strange, right? So he's got some really good spells to steal, and if you steal his ult, that's also a really nice burst for you. You just throw it out. You're not worried about stacking it up like he is. You can't really. But again, you get some nice Arcane Supremacy bonus damage. Some games, you can go for this 50 spell amp, stolen spells. And in that case, his ult is quite nice. But again, you're a Rubick, not really you're not really damaged. So not too worried about that. Dazzle, spells are okay. The heal is whatever, really. The Q is pretty nice in the early game. And later, it's not such a big deal. Again, because you're not so much focused on damage late game. Grave is quite nice to steal if you can manage to get that one, because then you're essentially Dazzle without having to be Dazzle. And he's got some decent spells. Sleight of Fist, not so good. His Root, that's pretty good. Ember Shield is okay. His ult, decent. Timber, mainly his ult is what you want. Because you can spam that out. It's really nice on Rubick, especially with this talent and this ability. So I would say you're probably looking to steal from Lion most of the time. Possibly look for Grave or his Q, and if you can get his ultimate. I would never bother to steal from her. It's pretty useless. Maybe if you just died and you just need a spell, go ahead. Your team, I would say, it's hard. They don't have a typical hard carry. Ember is their safe lane carry, I'm guessing, this game. And I'm talking a lot in this early stage because we're kind of setting the playing field, which is pretty important for Rubick because you need to figure out what spells you're going to steal. So it's important on any player and any support in general, but for Rubick especially, you're trying to plan out before the game's even begun. These are the spells I'm going to steal. What items do I need to accomplish that, etc., etc. Why is the sound cutting in and out? Is it because it's weirdly paused? PA is technically a hard carry, but she struggles early a bit. Has some late game struggles against this amount of control. Mainly Lion. Lion's got really good control, but I would say if you guys go late, like you have a Treant, you have a Wind Ranger, Brewmaster, you guys are all pretty like solid late game heroes. But PA also has like this early tempo that I think she could use to win the game. So we're just gonna see how it plays. I'm okay with your items. I'm gonna assume you didn't have to like share tango with mid. Is she mid? Sometimes I'd be willing to share like one tango with her. It's not a big deal. I like these. Those are good. What is that? Speed forward a bit. Nothing happening. I like that you moved out pretty quickly because you have to scout lanes. Okay, I don't like that you now came back mid. Maybe you're talking to your team about something, but you want to like get out here and scout as quickly as you can. Let me turn this off. You want to get out to this side and scout as quickly as you can to like see who's in your lane, right? You're not 100% sure this is Ember safe lane. At this MMR, I would kind of guess it is. It's pretty unlikely you have a Timber hard carry and then they like tri lane and he mids, but it's a good habit to establish. So you should come out here and kind of see who's in the lane. And you also have a ward. You want to place that pretty quickly. If you were going to place it for mid, sure, like run out here and place it. Or if you're placing it for yourself, come out here and place it. See what I think is good this game. Brewmaster, Rubick. Nowhere in particular. Against these guys, like if there was a pudge, I would say you want to see like back here, so like here or here. If I thought your lane was particularly bad, I would say you want to block this camp. But you guys look pretty decent. I don't feel like you need to block this camp. So I would kind of just want to see, like, I think you guys can probably get kills on this lion. And I think you said that in your post too. I think you mentioned that you do get kills on lion. So I would use that ward to like look for lion so you can go for him. And you want to do that immediately. So I don't like that you're like turned around and I don't know what you're doing now. And now you're just like waiting here. I don't like that. You should go place this. It's a good habit to establish. And like also spot like go see what this lion's got right now. Go see what this enchantress has right now. We're gonna cheat. We're gonna look here. Oh, that's kind of weird. I don't know if they had a ward. I should have checked earlier the second we saw him. But that's kind of what you're looking for. You click those heroes and see if they have a ward, and that way you know, okay, maybe it's not going to be there, maybe it is. And see here, this is a replay bug, but we're going to use this since it's already showing. They've placed a ward here because they were free to just walk over here and place this. And there's no real reason for you to know that they did that. And you should, like, you should be out here looking for that, so that then they awkwardly have to hold their ward. Or, like, you beat them to it, place your ward. In fact, let's, we haven't even begun already, and I'm already rewinding, right? Back a couple times. So, in the time you ran backwards, I'll go back again. So, right, I said, remember I was saying, like, oh, I like that you left early. At this MMR, a lot of people, like, sit in base a while. And see, if you look here, you're the first one out. This person's also pretty fast, so they're also out. But see how they're way back here? Who's got it? Is it you, Dazzle? Dazzle's got it, right? So you could beat them. Let's see. When do you turn around? You start turning around here a bit. You're like, I still like that, and now it's no good, right? So let's say by the time you reach here is about the time that you could have been like here. And you could have been placing a ward, you know, either here or a little longer. If you tried to place a ward back here, they might have caught you at this point. But at least you'd be trying, and then you can turn around, or maybe you place it and they don't check you in time anyways. But if you did a relatively conservative ward back here or like here, they definitely wouldn't have seen you in that time, right? Because you can tell by watching this minimap where they were. And now, like, look how slow he is. He's still not there yet. And you're just sitting here. And now he places it. You know, in that time, you definitely could have been here, running around, harassing this Ember, like doing things. The game starts immediately once you load in. It's not just after this.
The battle begins.
Okay, you do check bottom a little bit. So you see Ember.
First blood. The Wind Ranger gets there first.
This is okay. I did forget they had Dazzle, so I guess it's a Dazzle Ember lane. If this was Line in this lane, I would be okay with this. But since you saw Dazzle, the way he works is that he's going to Q you, and he's going to keep auto-attacking you, right? And try to run you down and you're slow so that he keeps up with you. So in this case, I would potentially save up to buy boots quickly so that when he slows you, you're still pretty fast and have a chance at getting away. But you know what? It's not the biggest deal. A fast wand is like fine. I'm not going to harp on it too much. Okay, going for some denies, clicking. I would do that sooner. Once you see that you started trading right clicks, go ahead and just bolt it, right? I was going to replay, I'm not going to, but I think they got off like 3 or 4 auto attacks, maybe more, right? This would have reduced that by 20 damage, right? So if, let's say they both got off 3 auto attacks, that was on the smaller number, right? That would be like 120 damage that Brewmaster doesn't take, or that you don't take. So go ahead and just use it once you think you're going to start trading hits. Okay, going for denies. I like that. Good so far. I don't think you were worried about the early stage of the game, but we're still going to look at it. I think it's the most, often the most important part for a support to like look at to improve. What's happening? Oh, sorry. That might be a computer issue. Let's replay this. Slower. Couple thoughts. You lift Dazzle and like pull him in, I guess because he looked low and you wanted to pull him in for like the kill. But I don't know, this Ember's on top of you, right? I feel like you could pick him up and throw him, or better yet, what I was gonna say, if they ever dive you like this, you should always be looking to cliff people as Rubick, right? Let's say you okay, so they start to go on you here. Okay, I'm scared, I'm gonna run away, right? They think you're just scared. Run more for here, right? When Ember was around here, you could have picked him up and thrown him on this cliff, and that would have been funny, you know? Because he has to waste his teleport then leaving that cliff. Or if you want to commit a ward up there for a kill, I would say that's an okay trade. A kill for a ward, because they'll know once you put the ward there, right? And they'll eventually get that D ward. But if you get a kill, you know, that's cool, right? Oops, sorry. I hit the mic. So I think that would have been better. What is that noise? Crazy. Oh, yeah, you do die. I already forgot. So I think you could have lived if you picked up the Ember and threw him away, and that would have still stunned the Dazzle. And I think you would have lived. Or you could have thrown the Ember on this cliff, also lived, and severely hurt them. Because he has to use his TP. Which is a big deal, but at this MMR maybe not so impactful. But it's still funny to cliff people. So I would always be looking out for that. As the position 4, I wouldn't buy a second ward. Especially because you still have your first ward and haven't even placed it yet. If you want to buy anything, buy a sentry. And you would know you need to buy a sentry if you had walked out here and spotted that Dazzle had it. But now buying 2 wards, like, they should have seen you walk by with 2 wards. And then you go and place it right in front of him, so that's awkward. Okay, I get the idea you were going for, but I don't think you needed to lift him quite yet there. Keep in mind, it's a really long cooldown and pretty high mana cost at early levels, right? Fade Bolt is enough, I think. Fade Bolt, attack, trade a bit, and then leave. But actually is like okay overall for you, so like... You did reveal that you had a ward there, if you didn't already know when you place it right in front of him. speed up a bit, because I don't think you were that worried about the early laning stage. I like that. You mess up the pull. That's good. I wouldn't run this like this. Think of your heroes. Think of your heroes, right? He's the melee tanky one, and you're like this range support, right? So he's the core, you're the support. So if you were thinking in terms of fighting, who's in front? He's in front, and you're in the back, supporting him. So then when you like, let's see, you guys, like you trade a little here, right? I don't like how you run over here, because now who's in front? You're in front, and you're the support. So be like more over here. You still get to auto attack him, right? And if you decide you need to lift, you can lift him, right? But by positioning yourself here, Dazzle's going to come in to help. Who are they going to focus? They're going to focus you. And even at this point, 531 with 3 armor, Brewmaster, 433 with 2 armor. But he does have Drunken Brawler, and he does have a Stout Shield. So he's the guy you want them to fight. But by walking over here, you're like, hey guys, hit me instead. I'm the squishier support. Are you going to die for this? You're at least going to take a lot of damage for it. Okay, and you do die. So I hope you can see that that was a direct result of you walking in between them as the support when you really didn't need to. I know you were trying to like position aggressively, but you should understand that like they have a dazzle, they have a heal. You might get a kill, but you don't need to like run in like that. Just stay further back. And if you also like check the time, you would know that we don't necessarily need to kill right now. We can just damage Ember, and then he'll be afraid and stay back to heal a bit, and then you can go grab the runes. But yeah, that's a death you could have avoided. So 2 deaths that I think you could have avoided. And I'm not gonna like brag or anything, right? But I don't think I would have died either of those times. So if you're looking to improve, as like, I think those are like 2 direct spots to improve, right? These 2 deaths that I think you could have avoided. I probably would have died in some other dumb way, though. Okay. And so, see, you still have this ward that I was talking about earlier, right? No need for you to buy it. You're the position 4. It's nice to help your other support out, but right off the bat is not necessarily the time to do it. I'm pretty sure she saw Dazzle TP out, right? Or you heard it. I don't know if that's a replay bug. In this case, I was just watching you. I wasn't paying attention to the minimap. I'm pretty sure he showed bottom, though. Let's rewind. Or where did he TP to? Or did he not? Oh, the other guy TP'd in. Okay, no, yeah, he does TP bottom. Which maybe you guys don't know. I don't know if you heard it or not. I guess you don't. Well, actually, I don't know why I said that. You don't see him, but maybe you heard him. If you did hear him, what I was going to say is that you guys were like watching Ember hit that siege creep. Even though he had a full wave with him, you guys should go like fight him. If it's 2v1 like that, don't just let him get a last hit, right? You know? But I'm only saying that assuming that you heard Dazzle TP out, which I don't know if you did or not. So if you couldn't, then feel free to ignore that. But keep in mind, like, if you ever think it's just you 2 versus 1, feel free to, like, go in, auto attack. You don't have to commit smells, but just, like, hit. Do I like this? Kill Dazzle. I don't know how I feel about the solo shrine, but we'll leave it off for now. I would Fade Bolt immediately. Walk there, Fade Bolt, and then... what am I about to say? Like, you guys would have hit Dazzle anyways, right? So... you guys fighting. And going on him. He's slowed right now, right? He's slowed. So... he's slowed and PA is next to him. Treant pathing. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's pathing, and so he like awkwardly walked away instead of hitting this Dazzle. But because he's slowed, and PA is on top of him, you guys can deal damage, right? You Fade Bolt, you auto attack. You're in range because you're ranged. Wait for the slow to fade off and then lift him. Or if you think he has Grave, use it right before he casts Grave or heal. But this is just kind of like overlapping. Usually you say it in overlapping stuns, right? But you also have to consider like overlapping a stun with a slow, because the slow is there so that you guys can hit him, and he doesn't have an escape skill. He can only run away, and the slow kind of stops that. And so right now you've got a slow going, and you don't need to lift him yet. So that's why I would just Fade Bolt right away, and then hold the telekinesis until either he looks like he's going to cast Grave, or the slow wears off and it looks like he's going to get away, something like that. You guys do still get the kill, I think, right? Looks like you're going to, yeah. So I kind of feel like maybe you guys could have gotten that Dazzle kill without your lift, and then maybe you could have gotten that Lion kill with that lift. But, you might have had to commit the lift for Dazzle and then don't get Lion. That's okay. But it's possible. So, you know, throwing it out there. Trying to show, like, how the effects of using a spell or not can then play out, like, immediately after. 9 minutes. And you guys are at the tower. I think that would have been a time to pull instead of, like, all walking up there. I think one of you should have pulled. Not going to worry too much about it. We'll go faster a bit. You guys are getting killed. Let's take stock real quick. Timber's level 10 against Wind Ranger. No, I'm not a full mid player. I'm usually a support player. I don't know if Wind Ranger should necessarily lose that matchup that badly. Nah. I know he'll cut waves, right? Timbersaw will just cut the waves between mid and here. But I kind of feel like she just farms in her tower then. And I feel like she has her Q and her E to escape. So I'm not fully sure why she died twice. Maybe I missed a gank. I've been watching you more than I have the minimap. But that's not your fault, right? I'm just throwing that out there. That is like, okay, it's unfortunate, but that's like what we're going to have to think about going into the game. This guy, you guys had an okay start. I would say you traded about even. They killed you guys, but you're also the off lane and didn't get shut out, and you were able to harass them. So like, I think it's like all right. And this bottom lane is now kind of going okay now that you're down here. So right now, I would say it's all right. Things are going okay. You guys have the kill advantage, but not necessarily the lead. And as we see here, they actually have the lead. I'm going to assume from last hitting. I would bet it's Timber. Yeah, Timber is the big cause. Can you do anything about it? Not quite. I think you made the right call. I think your post also says like you didn't think you could do anything to Timber, and I agree. if you see him diving super hard, like say he's like killing Wind Ranger down here, then yeah, TP, try to save him. But I don't think you trying to gank a Timbersaw would do anything, because like her ultimate is like this reduced damage auto attack, and he gains armor from that, right? So like that's usually her kill move, and if she can't do that, you can't get a kill on him. And if he comes with you, he doesn't really add damage. So I don't think you can do anything to Timber. But the thing with Timber is Timber likes to just like sit in mid lane a lot of the times. And she can get the tower pretty quickly if he leaves. So I think going bottom or top, whichever, cause like problems. I think that's the right call. And either Timber doesn't rotate and you like cause these disruptions on the side. Possibly Wind Ranger comes in too, takes one of those towers. That way you're like playing different parts of the map while Timber, like he's already free farming, right? So what if so if she leaves, he's still free farming, right? He's not doing better that she left. He was already like freely farming even though she was there. If you get him to rotate, then that's good. Wind Ranger can now get mid tower really quickly. She power shots the wave, ults the tower, ease, all that stuff, right? We don't have to worry about that. That's just what she should do. If she doesn't, that's out of your control, but making him rotate would be good, or making plays around the map, also good. Something else I would consider, though, at this point, it doesn't look like he has any signs that he's building an urn. Maybe you asked in-game, I don't know. But you were having a pretty decent start, and in a game, this is a really big Soul Vessel game, right? You have Enchantress heal, you have Dazzle heal, you have a Timbersaw who heals, right? So this is a really good Soul Vessel game, and if he's not gonna get it, you should get it. Maybe you guys talked about it in chat, I don't know. But personally, I think you would move around more and be nearer to kills than he would be. So I would kind of like you to have the urn. And so like instead of this arcane boots, you could have urn. And like you guys are getting kills, right? So you'd be like stacking up some urn charges. That would be pretty nice. Maybe you knew he was going to do it though. So it's okay if you don't get it. Okay, so literally I just talked about Wind Ranger coming to lanes, making space. Let's see if you guys take this tower. You should. 4 of you and a catapult, right? Okay, you're going around to ward. I feel like doing it right at this moment might be a little obvious, especially now that you like walk right back in. But I do think it's also good to get the tower. And this is like really awkward. I have no idea why she just died. I mean, I have an idea. And it's that like you weren't all there. Treant going to mid is like okay to get XP. But it's not really your fault that she died, so let's not worry about it that much. I don't think she should have died though. I think you guys should have been able to get that tower. Even without Treant there. Or at least get a lot of damage on it. But not really your fault, so we're not gonna worry about it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This is definitely not the buy. You better not buy this next. Look how, what am I trying to say here? Ember is extremely elusive, right? He keeps a remnant back, and then he just, like, dashes to it if he sees danger coming. He just timber chains away. She's just hard to kill. We're not going to worry about her right now. But these two, it's... To an extent, though, actually, when she sees trouble and she thinks she might be, like, about to die, she pops heal. So if you can lift her before she heals, that's really good, and then you guys try to burst her. Or these two, if you lift them before they can escape, that's really good. The point of this being, like, you need to lift them, because that's an instant disable. And Treant may be able to do it, right? Punch is one of them out of invis, roots them a bit. But then there needs to be follow-up, and you need to be in range to do it. she might buy a blink and like start doing blink shackle shots. But they have time to react to a shackle shot. He only gets a stun when he ults, right? And she's like not. Maybe she'll build a basher, right? And you're gonna hope for a bash. So I think a blink first this game is like really good to provide kill opportunities on these guys. At least the Ember, because Timber is really hard to kill for you guys right now. But the Ember at least would be killable if you like blink lift him and then a shackle shot follow up, right? Something like that. But you need to be there. There you go. I don't know about an Ags quite yet. But blink is good. This is time to leave. Once Timber is here, just tell your team, just get out. You guys aren't gonna win a Timber fight, right? This is just a tier 1 tower that's halfway. This guy's solo top, halfway tower. This mid tower, full health, could use some killing, right? Even if you take a 5-on-4 fight right now, I don't think you guys would win. Because like you said, looking at this Timber, he's super scary. He has a hood, so all of your magic damage is very negated, and his passive makes physical damage very negated. He's just gonna like kill you guys, right? Once you see him bottom, you should just tell your team, I'm leaving. We should all leave. Go push top and mid, go farm the jungle, let them spend 4 heroes to get this 1 tower here. Let's spend like 2 of you could TP top, right? And pressure that top tower, and 2 of you could like run mid and go for that mid tower. And that would just be like better use of everyone's time. Brewmaster's okay against Timber, I guess, if he gets his ult off, but just don't think you guys can do it. Maybe you can kill these other heroes, but not this Brewmaster. So far, Brewmaster's died. Ember died solo. That's interesting. Let's get on the Wind Ranger. Runes. Okay, that's good. Go for the Dazzle, because you still can't kill this guy. So, like, let's think about what happened since I just said, like, what I thought should go bottom. So you guys have defended the tower a bit. You've traded about, like, 3 kills, and I don't know. It's just, like, has PA really been able to farm in this time? Not really. You want her to, like, go farm a different lane. You don't want her to be here right now. If anyone's going to defend, Wind Ranger, I think, should defend. But she doesn't really want to either, because she's also a bit behind and needs, like... Actually, she has her Maelstrom. She could fight. Shadowblade is... I don't think it's the answer, but it's, like, passable against these guys. That's a team decision, so it's not fully on you, right? You do kind of have to be there if your team is there. But if possible, I think you should tell your team, let's all leave. This is scary. Just get out. PA keeps going bottom. When is she going to farm? He's farming heroes, luckily, but if Timber were to just keep coming bottom and she's, like, unable to do anything. But it's been working out, I guess. They, like, stopped coming bottom for whatever reason. You guys scared them away, so I guess that worked. I don't think you should have been able to, though. Let's slow this one down. I've been, like, zooming through fights a lot, not really critiquing anything you've been doing in the fights, but... When did you, Here's the thing. We're thinking about what spells are good to steal, right? In the early game, you want Lion's Finger. Because I know I kind of said, like, at the start of the game, the finger's not, like, that big of a deal because you don't get as much stacking as he does. But if you think about it in terms of getting a kill and making space and possibly opening up a kill on Timber, right? You need a bunch of magic damage to kill Timber. Finger could open that up, right? But even if you don't go for Timber, a lot of these guys really squishy. A surprise finger could kill them. So that's a really big spell that you want to look for to steal as Rubick. And you know he's 6. So you're kind of like looking for an opportunity to use it. So I don't like that you steal Hex because I don't know. It's a disable, which is nice, but like comparing it to like getting a finger kill and then picking up something else, I think that's better. So I would hold on to your spell steal until he uses finger. And if you're gonna lift anyone, I think Dazzle's the one to lift, right? Because you lift her to prevent her from healing, I'm gonna guess. But if she's about to die because she doesn't get her heal off, what's gonna happen? This guy right here, he's just gonna grave him, right? So he's the one you need to lift in these kind of fights to prevent him from getting grave off. Or he's the one you guys need to go on first and then lift him when he tries to grave himself, which is ultimately still the same thing of you have to lift him so that he can't grave anyone. He was a little far from you. Yeah, see, and then that would be an easy steal to get if you had held on to your spell steal. And then you could finger either of these guys for a kill, I'm pretty sure. Is this the time to be using a clarity? Maybe. You could be pulling right now. That's not a big deal. Considering how like fight heavy both teams have been.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So here's the thing. This is why I was saying I think you should pull. Is because like the creep wave is under their tower and they have 3 heroes. And you guys have 2 heroes. So are you really gonna get to test them under tower? No. So you guys are just watching them farm. That's not very fun. So go pull the creeps and then farm these creeps. That's fun. You know, get your blink dagger. Are you getting... You might have panic bought something because you were dying. If that's the case, I don't have an excuse for you, actually. Really, what that comes down to is, like, don't have both queued, I guess. Blink first is a lot more important this game. I don't know if Ags is necessarily... Ags is pretty fun this game, actually, but I don't think it's strictly your next item right after Blink. But Blink is definitely, I think, if that's the item you want to get next, it's the item you want to get next, and not this Aghanims. And buying this is just like setting you back on your Blink completely, right? You're now at 263. Before you were halfway, a little past halfway, you lost some money because you died. Some other items you could get, Glimmer is alright. It's a little unfortunate because he already has Invis, and she has a talent that's going to give Invis, and it looks like she's building a Shadow Blade this game, so there's like a lot of Invis this game. But the magic resist is just really good this game. Force Staff is always nice for your team. Against these guys, like if they get stunned or rooted, it doesn't hurt. Buying yourself a casual bracer would also be nice for you. Just because like there is a good amount of magic damage from him and burst, so like you just want some health. So I think a casual bracer is pretty nice. Let me look at the actual items again. Let me think what else you could buy. Honestly, I would have liked for you to get an urn this game, I think. You get the urn, and Treant goes for a medallion into a what's it called? Solar crest. There we go. You get the soul vessel, he gets the solar crest. Solar crest works really well with PA and specifically against this Timbersaw. It removes a lot of his armor, right? This guy is also going to be reducing armor, so having an item that gives him armor is nice for him, or armor to a teammate is nice. And then the soul vessel for you, like I said, it's a really good game for it, and you would get some armor from it too. It's not too much, but like anything helps. And you also get some tankiness from it, so I like Spirit Vessel a lot for you. But if he's gonna get it, then that's fine. You just get like a Blink or a Force Staff. Or a Glimmer, I guess, is okay. I really like Blink for the instant initiate against Ember, so that he can't just Remnant out, and that you can set up for your Wind Ranger.
Gotcha.
Well, then to finish my thought, you just like don't need to be out this far, essentially. When it's 2v3 like this, and you guys are just watching them farm under tower, you don't want to like stand out that far. You like go walk away. Go stack or like jungle or something. But don't be that far up, and then you won't be in a position where you might get caught out like you did there. Wow, that is a long shackle.
Assassination is illusion.
Wait, did you sell it? What happened? Did you buy it after you died? Or was I just like hovered on the wrong hero? Did I just criticize you for not? Oh, you bought it after. I think you were trying to panic buy it. So now I have a different tip for you. Where is it? Right here. Whatever you want to set it to. There's a button for it. So you don't have to like come down here to try to click something to buy when you're panicking. One of my mouse buttons is 0. I know this looks like I'm like reaching across the keyboard while pressing Alt, but it's like one of the ones by my finger. I just press Alt and click that button. Super easy. Don't have to think about it when I'm dying. So yeah, different tip for you. And also don't panic buy the Staff of Wizardry when you were dying, because Blink is definitely the item you want, and you don't want to stall that out, even if you're going to lose gold. Timber Chain, not a bad steal. It's kind of fun to move around. It's not ideal though. It's not really like something for you. But it is like decent damage at least. I guess that's cool. His Q or his ult are like better to steal. Timber Chain is just like fun to have, but it's not like that useful. I also don't know if you need to Clarity. You're already at like 4/5 mana. As the 4 support, you should also buy smokes for your team. You could smoke with like a Brewmaster or Wind Ranger. Man, my hair's a mess. I see it in the... I'm very not paying attention to the game. Sorry. Let me just fix my hair. You could just smoke with like Wind Ranger or Brewmaster a lot. It looks even dumber now. How did I do that? Smoke with them, make some space. That's kind of like 4 support things, right? Especially now that you have Timber Chain, you can use that to initiate. Timber Chain in and lift.
Dire structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is
Okay, getting a tower.
has fallen.
It's kind of a weird tower for your like all to group up when their safe lane tower is still up. But I'm not going to go too much into that right now, because I think that's, listen, what is this, Crusader? At Crusader, if you can get people to group up for a tower, then just take whatever tower you can get. I know it's hard to get your team to, like, coordinate properly, so I'm not going to worry about telling you, like, well, technically, you should get the top tower. You know, if you get the bottom tower, you get the bottom tower. That's fine. But you guys still don't want to fight Timbersaw quite yet. You guys get the tower, and it looked like you guys had the chance to escape, I would get out. When did you steal that? Well, it's okay, actually. This stun is a really good one for you to steal, too. So if you chose to steal the stun instead of ult, I'd be okay with that. And I am okay with that. You were thinking about it again. Get rid of this. Yeah, this is just like a really unnecessary fight for your team to be in. You guys got this tower, just leave. You guys aren't ready to fight Timber. Wherever Timber shows up to stop you guys, that is good for you that you made Timber go there. And now you all leave. All of you, like, walk away, TP to the other 2 lanes, and start pushing those. That's what you do when someone is, like, so far ahead like Timber is. You can't fight him. So don't try, right? Don't think like, oh, he's here, we kind of have to. No. Just TP out, walk away, leave. You don't want to fight him yet until you're ready to. And if you keep TPing to other lanes and buying yourself time, you're giving yourself, your team, time to farm. Right? You don't really farm as a Rubick. But like the PA building to like a Desolator or something, right? That would let her kill Timbersaw. Or like her to get Maelstrom, she actually could kill Timbersaw, possibly. It would be tough.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay. Farming it up. I agree, you're pretty close, you should just get it. Let's just skip forward a bit. Alright, you bought it. I think you could just buy it from the side shop, though. I don't think you need to call the courier all the way out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Pushing waves. See, I don't like this because I think this is where it's a little hard for me when I watch, like, I don't mean to be offensive, right? But like lower tier games, like at Crusader, where like not everything necessarily makes sense to how like I think it should go. But that like sometimes you have to like play for the MMR you're in. And this is one of those moments where like I see you coming down to this fight, and I've been saying this whole time, like, if Timbersaw shows up, leave. And this time you're like walking to Timbersaw, but your team is there, so I get it. It's like you kind of need to fight. If your team is fighting, you kind of need to join because you just picked up this nifty blink dagger, right? But I still don't think you guys can kill Timbersaw. And at best, you can like kill everyone else in his team, maybe. And you sort of are, but like you just lost someone too. Let me put it this way. I think the correct play here at a higher level, if this, for whatever reason, this exact situation happened, I think the team should back away from mid and just Wind Ranger or you just spam out the waves as they come in mid. Wind Ranger in this case because she was already there. And I think you should stay top, keep pushing it into that tower, possibly getting the tower, and then someone goes bottom. Treant is there now, I guess that works. Pushes out bottom. Someone else go farm like top jungle or something, or heck, the whole enemy team is here, right? So their jungle is safe. So PA goes to farm their jungle or something. And in that way, they have 4 heroes getting 1 lane of XP. You have 1 hero down here getting this XP alone. 1 up here pushing, getting XP alone. Someone else getting jungle XP. Wind Ranger is pushing out creeps mid with power shot safely. She's getting some XP. All of you are getting way more XP than they're splitting between all of them. And even if they get the mid tower, it's unfortunate, but like that's kind of what you have to do when you're behind. And I know maybe you don't feel like you're that behind, and you're kind of not because you're evenly split and they're like top heavy because it's all in this Timbersaw. And usually if someone's top heavy, you try to kill that one guy, but I seriously don't think you can kill him unless he makes a serious mistake. So Timbersaw is like kind of unique in that. Where like a lot of other heroes, if they're ahead, they can still die, but Timbersaw, when he's ahead, it's like really hard to die without him making a mistake. And so now you're here and like not getting this farm top, right? And they're still gonna get this mid tower. So this is really weird. Walking through here, I don't like that. You're gonna die or something. You just saw him like timber chain through mid, right? You think if they're gonna timber chain through mid for a core hero, they're not gonna do it for you? He's gonna dive you, right? Look at him go. So this is not a safe place. Your tower is there, but it is not safe. Also, I missed when you stole from Ember. But again, remember when I was saying like it's not that good? And maybe you were trying to steal one of his spells, so it's fine, I guess. But if you just had the choice to steal from someone and you randomly picked Ember, I wouldn't just do it, because odds are Sleight of Fist is what you're gonna get. You really have to see him use like his Q and then immediately grab it, or he uses his ult and you immediately grab it. But if you just steal from Ember randomly, odds are you're gonna get Sleight of Fist, which isn't that useful. I would much rather you save for Timbersaw, grab his ultimate, which he's been throwing out a lot, right? And you can use that to clear waves solo. And suddenly, like usually your W doesn't clear waves alone, right? If you combine W with Timbersaw's ultimate that you steal, you clear every wave instantly. And all of them push, you walk in, fade bolt it, Timbersaw ult it, blink back out, pull the ult back in, wave is gone, you're safe. Your blink is back up in 30 seconds when the next wave's there. Repeat, right? You make a lot of space for your team as just Rubick with that ultimate. Just protecting that tower alone. Or if not that tower, any other tower, right? Because they already got that mid tower. Did he get a medallion? He did get a medallion. So he still doesn't have Urn. So I would have liked an Urn. If you guys had a Soul Vessel, maybe you could kill Timbersaw. But it would be pretty hard. And see, like, you guys are, like, kind of going on Timbersaw with the three of you, but, like, you really do have to think, like, even if it's 3v1, even if no one on his team ever comes in to help him, are we going to kill him before he kills one or more of us? And it's no. So, shouldn't go in. And even though, like, Treant also went in and everything, the way you can improve as a player is to, like, either speak up or, like, type back or, like, whatever you have to do, but be like, this is not the engagement I want to be in. Get me out. Get all of us out. Ho, 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 ho.
The rune of regeneration.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Where are you going?
Yeah, okay. Ooh, drawing. I'm going to assume you guys are communicating. I like drawing. That is good support play. I forget who I was watching. Every team needs a drawer. And someone said that about like pro teams. There's always someone who like draws on the map. It's usually a support player, I feel like. You build Nakaya, this is not the item. I think people talked about it in the post, but just to like further go in, I actually don't mind Kaya if it was very late game, right? When you have this stolen 50% spell amp talent, and you probably have an Ags at that point, right? I don't mind it at that point because Steel Finger, use it. It's low cooldown. You can just keep using it. Still a really high damage burst, even if you're not getting the same kill counter as he is. Or you steal Timbersaw's ultimate, which does a bunch of damage, and with Akaya is cheaper for you to use and does more damage, amplified even more with this and your passive, right? But that's only if you're like your team is really lacking damage in the late game. As a support in this like mid game phase, you really don't need Akaya. What can we get instead? Aether is okay if you want to stay further back. You could turn these into Tranquils, use the Arcane or Energy Booster for Aether. Force Staff is still nice. Glimmer, although slightly unfortunate that you already have some invis, still good against this like finger burst. Ags at this point is a little greedy, but I'm okay with it. If you were to rush it at this point, if you were feeling really confident about your play, right? Like, guys, I'm gonna steal Lion Stun, I'm gonna steal Timbersaw, gonna get Lion Stun again, gonna get his Hex. Like, if you were really feeling it and felt like you could constantly get these like disables, because your team is lacking disables. So if you were able to steal disables and then steal damage, and you were like, I got this. Every 2 seconds, new spell, I've got this. Sure, go for the Ags. But if you're not feeling like you're that confident, or if it's a game where there aren't that many good spells to steal, yeah, Force Staff, Glimmer, all those. Yules isn't that great this game. It's another form of disable, I guess, but like your team can't attack in it. Scythe is like too late game for you to go for right now. And assuming Treant would get the Soul Vessel this game, I guess he could do it. But the reason I feel like you should get the Soul Vessel this game is because, like, see how I'm like struggling for like what is a good item for you? Because of that, like, Soul Vessel is such a good item, I think you could get it. Blink Soul Vessel, and I'd be like, wow, I'm really happy for this Rubick build right now. It's pretty good. Now we can get like an Ags or something. But Treant, like, he could get the Medallion or Solar Crest, which you can't really get this. This doesn't make sense on you because you're not a right clicker, and you're not like, it doesn't help you steal spells, doesn't help you like disable. It doesn't synergize well with you, whereas it synergizes well with his like single target focused like punches, and then he pops it on his carries and whatever, right? Technically you can get it, but it just doesn't synergize with the rest of your spells, whereas Treant, it kind of just does. I don't know how to like fully explain that right now, but it's just like better for him. And what else could he get? He could get a Meteor Hammer. That's a really good Treant item. I love that one. He'd get a Blink so that he can help initiate. He could get an Ags, which I don't love, but I don't love it because of the Timbersaw, but Treant Ags is just really nice in general. So what was that? It was Blink, Solar Crest, Ags, Meteor Hammer, right? There's a lot of items that are coming to mind for me for like, this would be a good Treant item, this would be a good Treant item, this would be a good Treant item. So he is like struggling to buy all the items that could be good for him this game. Whereas for you, I'm like, yeah, I guess this is a good item. It's kind of hesitant. So because you're in that like weirder category, removing one of the items he has to buy, aka the Soul Vessel, into your build gives you something to build and feel like really good about, instead of like, I guess Glimmer's okay. It's like, Soul Vessel, that's great. And then Treant is like, oh, I don't have to buy Soul Vessel, which would have been great. I can buy Meteor Hammer, which is also great, you know? So your team is getting 2 items that feel great for your team to have, as opposed to him slowly getting, this is a great item, this is a great item, but it's like one at a time, and you're getting like okay items. You see what I'm saying there? Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, it's just like, not just your own game, thinking about what he wants to build and helping him out by like freeing up all of his choices. Zoom forward a bit. At this point, I don't feel they've pushed their... Well, they kind of have, because they have all your towers. That's a bit of misplaying from you guys. Like I mentioned, like, I think you split the towers a bit more. Don't engage. Let them slowly get one lane at a time while you push out the other lanes and farm up, catch up. I was not focusing on the fight while I was talking. But essentially, you wouldn't be at this point quite yet. Or you should be, but like... It's weird, because like a good team in their hands would have gone to this point by this time. But for your game, since they've been playing unoptimally, they shouldn't be at this point yet. But they've gotten here because you guys have equally been unoptimal. So if you can help your team be a bit more optimal, then they won't be at this point quite yet. Maybe a little later, like 35 minutes, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but in 7 minutes, maybe she has another big item and can now kill Timbersaw, right? Because he got so ahead, you guys are now forced to play on the back foot and wait for this like moment when it's like suddenly we can kill Timbersaw. Suddenly the game is possible. We can play Dota. We can fight them. Until you reach that point, you really can't. The other item your team needs is that Soul Vessel to kill him, which he hasn't even started yet. Oh, now he started. He has an urn, which he has no charges for, right? If you got an urn within those first 5 minutes, think of how many charges you would have. It'd be so many. Just see a guy standing there. Okay, kill these other guys. Could you kill him now? What does she have? She didn't have the Deso yet, so no. What does he have? Shivas, a hood, and a bloodstone. If Wind Ranger were here, she might be able to kill him because she has a Maelstrom, which procs a bunch of magic, and also she went Silver Edge first, which, although I think is unideal, it does happen to be pretty good at killing Timbersaw. And she's not here right now because she's dead. So you guys can't really kill him yet. With Wind Ranger, it might be possible. But because without her, I think it's really hard. I kind of feel like 4 people chasing him, it's not ideal. Right? Like, he keeps running back into you guys. If he wanted to get out, he could. But him coming back in again, and is he gonna die? It looked like you guys were gonna get him, actually. Are you? Nah, double kill. He better die. Woo. But that was his mistake, right? Right? You saw that, right? How he had a lot of chance to get out, but he like kept coming back to you guys because he was like greedy and thought he could kill you all. And ultimately he did die, but he got 3 of you. So is it worth it? Maybe. For her, but I don't think it's the team decision. You guys can just push it off for like another minute until she's up. Aw, it was close. Where are you? Here you are. They're behind, but they're not that behind because of how many kills they've been giving up. So even though they have the lead because of the way comeback mechanics work and all that, since you guys are getting kills, you're getting a good amount of gold that they don't get when they get kills. So you guys are like fairly close, all things considered. Considering like how ahead he was, your team is remarkably close. I still haven't seen you purchase a single smoke. So that's something you can do. Rubick is good at it, right? Especially at this point when he can steal an extra stun. If you guys smoke as a group, you can kill like one guy here, one guy there. Wind Ranger can set up a shackle and then you guys follow up. Just these kind of like pick off plays that you can do when they have one person who's worth a lot and you either need to kill that one person or you need to kill other people on his team. So you gotta like smoke to them. This is weird, you guys going in without like that much vision. I don't love. Like, let's look back before you guys went in. Like, I'm like half paying attention, right? Because I'm like talking and like looking at different stuff. I'm not like paying as much attention to the minimap as usual. I just want to make sure. So you see a couple of them here. A couple of them walking in because you do have like these 2 wards. You see him going in. You all collapse right now. I don't know if you should be able to see this Timbersaw here. That might be a replay issue. But I just feel like it's really risky since you saw other people on their team in this area and your team is still a little more split up. I just feel like coming in like this is really risky. even though you do need to defend the ward, I think you just like lift him up and throw him away a little bit or something. That's not that great either. I would just be scared. I don't know. It is tempting to go for that dazzle kill, but I don't know. The enemy team was right there, so I don't love it. What you could have done instead is actually, like you saw them coming in, you should have called your team immediately. And that way your team is all closer. Once you see that dazzle, you all jump the dazzle real quick, burst him, and then it's okay to fight. As long as Timber doesn't show up, which he was away. I don't know if you guys should have known that or not, but you can fight a little bit, see that Timber's not showing up, and you guys can decide, oh, we can keep fighting. Or if he shows up, you guys just leave, or try to anyways. So right now you got a Kaya, which isn't great. I think people on Reddit explained why it's not great, but for anyone else who didn't like see this post, it's just because like, what does it add really? You don't have that much damage. It would be much better to like help these guys who are the real damage dealers, your cores, help enable them with a 4-staff, a Glimmer, something like that to help them survive more. I think a Glimmer. I would get a Glimmer this game, I think. Anytime I see someone low like PA there, I would Glimmer her. A Lotus Orb might not be bad, because they have a lot of like point and click stuff, which is really just to say Lion has a lot of point and click stuff, which you could help protect them from, or at least make them like less desirable targets. Just Lion isn't worth it, I think. I would go for the Glimmer. Glimmer or the Ags? If I was feeling greedy and confident, I would go for the Ags. Which I'm always feeling greedy and confident, so I would be going for Ags probably. Maybe the Glimmer. Glimmer's nice because if you look at his slots, right, he's been doing so well, he doesn't have space for Dust. Cores never carry Dust, right? So it's always on the supports. And if you guys kill the supports, then suddenly Glimmer's pretty useful. It helps you escape, right? Or if this guy goes on you solo, you can Glimmer, assuming he doesn't root you first with his Q, because that reveals you an invis if you try to go invis during that time. But if he's like chasing you and you manage to go invis first, he's not going to carry Dust to find you, and you buy yourself some time. Maybe you get out. So in that case, it is pretty useful for you, even though these guys have invis too. Screw it, just all commit to invis, right? I guess. Oh, sorry, I should be back on you. Let's see what you're doing. Farm and jungle. Does Pia reach Jesso? Alright, so now you guys are at the point, now that she has Silver Edge too, you guys are at the point where I think you could kill Timbersaw. And so now is when I think you guys could make like smoke plays, possibly sneak Roche, have someone go for it, and if they respond, just quickly get out. I don't love that though. I would much rather you like pick someone off and then go for Roche or something like that. But like you see how they have these towers, right? So you want those towers. So you get a smoke play going, have Wind Ranger ult someone, whoever you find first, whatever. Or like even if you find Timber now, it might be possible to kill between the Desolator, the Silver Edge, the Maelstrom procs, all of that. Get that big pick off, and then like suddenly you can get a tower, or you can get this Roshan. But like even though they're like technically more ahead, now it feels possible to kill Timbersaw with what you guys have. And so now it feels better. This is what you've been like delaying for while he was ahead. So even though you've lost all your towers and they're ahead, I would say now the game is like, it's possible for you to fight directly. If you can get good engagements, right? Don't run into them one at a time or something like that. It's now possible to make these like group coordinated movements, whereas before you could have made those movements and they still could have won because Timber was just that ahead and you didn't have the items. But now that you do, you can go for it, and that's why you split to different lanes when they're in one, because you're just buying time to reach this point. So even though they've gained more map control, now you've reached a point where you can fight back. And when they try to go for the high ground, that's when they're still on, like, that's when it's still on their terms, right? They've forced you to the high ground, but you can fight there. But what I'm suggesting is, like, be proactive. Grab that smoke, fight somewhere else on their side. Don't let it come to, like, ratting or them, like, chipping away your tier 3. Going for Aghanims, that's fine. I say that's fine. Right now, if you're watching this video, what spells do you steal? What are you looking for? Do you know? If you don't, then it's not an Aghs game. What I'm trying to say is, like, you don't get it so that you can just be like, oh, it's only 2 seconds. Now I can just grab whatever spell I happen to see. You still need to be thinking ahead. It's more clear when there's, like, a black hole, right? You know, I'm not going to use this until I see black hole. Then I'm going to steal it. That's when you don't have Aghs, right? But after that, you still need to be thinking you get an Aghs. So, like, this game, right? Are you ever going to steal from Enchantress? You don't want that, right? You want to keep going for, like, Lion. You want to go for, like, Grave, his ultimate. So you don't want to just, like, wait to see them use it. You need to be, like, expecting them to use it and being ready to steal it from them. It's like this next level of not like, oh, I see the spell, I'm going to steal it. It was, I was waiting for them to use that spell, and then I stole it. And if you're not, like, already kind of thinking of that a bit, either in the game or just from, like, playing Rubick a bunch and just having a better feel for it, then Aghanims doesn't necessarily always pay off as much as another item could. So, like, if you buy an Aghanims to then, like, still steal spells from, like, Enchantress, then I would be disappointed, you know? We'll see if you finish it, and we'll see how you use it. I was talking so much, I probably should have commented more on that fight. Let's go back a little. I don't feel like that fight was on your terms. Which is why, even though I was talking up how, like, oh, now you guys can fight, but you guys just got wiped, I just want to double check again to see, like, why you guys were fighting. You blink on the dazzle. Sometimes, like, your camera angle's a little weird. I feel like sometimes... Well, hold on. So that started right. It started with you guys trying to get a dazzle pick off. Which I would say is correct. I think that was a good choice for you to try to get that dazzle. But once he graved, I think I would leave as a team, right? Grave means he's alive for 4 seconds. And you did see people around here. And so in that time, they're going to do what they did. They're going to come to you guys, and they're going to turn the fight. Making a play, trying to make a play is good. If a play fails, just let go. You know? Just reset, try it again. But don't, like, keep going on a mistake thinking, we already started, we got to keep going. Because you end up with what just happened there. The other thing I was going to say, which isn't necessarily a support issue for you, this is like a overall player thing. Your camera's kind of like strange sometimes. I feel like a fight will occur and you'll be looking at like a little off, right? Like the fight was like sometimes like really up on your screen here and you're like looking down here. And I think it's because you're like edge panning. And I don't know if you have a button to like center on your hero. For me, it's one of my mouse buttons. It could be whatever you want. To like center directly back on your hero. Sometimes that's not what you need, like in the team fight. Like sometimes you're down here but need to watch a team fight here. Technically it can come down to like preference. I shouldn't say technically. It is down to preference. You can do it this way if you want. I use the middle mouse button now. I do a bit of both, I guess. But the middle mouse button has helped me a lot more. and then like being able to like click to my hero. But you just need to like see the fights more, especially as Rubick, right? You need to see what's going on to know what you can steal or like what spell you will steal. Like Lion just used stun last, and now he's just walking around. If I steal from him, I'm gonna get the stun. Instead of just like stealing it and seeing like, oh, I got stun, or like, oh, it's mana drain, right? And not just Rubick though. Other heroes also need to do it, especially anyone that initiates. You need to just be like watching and seeing what's happening. And like sometimes these fights are breaking out, and I feel like you're not fully centered on. So whether you switch to middle mouse or you still want to use this, that's fine. But just try to like see more of the fight. I know that's like a really weird, like I don't know how to explain how to like work on that or how to practice that, but it's just like you just need to see what's happening, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Oh no, I see one of my friends just got on Dota. I bet they're going to invite me to a party and interrupt my video. Very rude of them. I should one day turn off Steam notifications. I keep forgetting to. Let's go back. This is something else you can do as Rubick, so that's why it's important. I do like that you were pushing out this wave. Steal from him. Steal from him. Steal from him. Steal from him. Remember what I said about how you can burst things down with Fade Bolt and his ult? Or Timbersaw's ultimate? I would have liked you to be back here sooner, and instead of using your heal wave to like destroy this wave immediately, use it here to destroy their wave immediately. Maybe they still get the mid tower, but you could buy your team more time. Or if not heal, like steal his ultimate. Like right here, another good time to steal it. Stealing the Hex is acceptable, but I don't know if you knew you were going to get a Hex. I think I would have liked stealing his ultimate, because it gives you the wave clear that your team is lacking a bit, especially because people were dead. Looks like they're going to close it out. Not necessarily, because it's only one Rax, but just like, that's kind of the way it looks like it's headed. Unless you like start making like some different plays, which I'm not sure is going to happen. Just because like the things you would need to do to like win from this point, playing on your terms, is kind of stuff that you could have already been doing and your team hasn't been doing it. So I'm not like, I don't have this confidence that suddenly you guys are going to realize, oh, we need to be like smoke ganking and picking them off and stuff. I feel like you guys are probably going to keep playing the way you've been playing, and that is going to lead to a loss at this point. Unless they throw, which can always happen. But it's much better to like play on your own terms, you know, than to hope for the enemy to throw. That is what I was going for. Push that bottom though, I like that. TP top. I do think you probably needed to TP top and be there. I guess it is 5 people actually, and she can't buy back, so actually I think your decision's better. Keep pushing bottom, because I don't think you guys could do much without, maybe one person can like risk dying for it, right, and try to like steal it. I think what you were doing is better. Pushing bottom, now someone has to respond to this or lose a tower. Don't leave yet. Ah. Let me ask, why'd you leave? I'm pausing for dramatic effect. And to like theoretically give you time to respond. They're here. So yes, you do sort of need to be back to like push out, right? But think about the state you're in, right? Losing the first Rax sucks because it opens up shrines, right? That's why That's why it's really important. That's why TPing here before they got here was important, so that they didn't get the T3 and open up shrines. But now they've already done that. So at this point, losing a second set of racks, if you gained nothing, right? If you just went down a second set of racks, that would be pretty bad and pretty rough. But because you're in the, like, you're right here, you have the possibility of trading racks, which, let's say they get this, and you get this. Now you're down 2, but you have 1. So now that means you're just down, 1 lane of racks. Even though it's in a different spot, which is kind of to your benefit. Well, actually, mixed. But overall, it would open up your the enemy shrine, sorry. And I would say that you getting your first set of racks is better than them getting a second set of racks. It's unlikely you get these racks. What's more likely is that one person TP's home, and then you come back, right? That's when you teleport back here, now that you can take a 4-on-4 or wait for her to respawn in a 5-on-4. And odds are they probably wouldn't have gotten this tower yet, right? Let's watch a little. Let's see what happens. Let's free camera this. This is a pretty big wave, which is unfortunate. Could they have wave cleared without you? Possibly, right? Blink Q, run out. Does she have... Yeah, she's got Battle Fury. She doesn't have the... oh, she does have the Cleave talent. Cleave with daggers, right? Treant can heal towers. If you sustain some damage, it's not the worst, right? He can heal it. It's unfortunate she is dead. She's the other, like, best wave clear. So I do understand the panic of, like, feeling to need to come back to help wave clear. And you did get a W off, right? But, like, force someone to rotate and then come back is what I'm saying, I guess. I don't know what you're doing there. I looked away for a second and then you died. What happened? Definitely don't leave the base. That's for sure not good. Especially because you don't have buyback. You just bought this Ags. Just because he went back doesn't mean the rest of his team went back. You're the support. Same thing I said at the very start, right? Up here, when you have like the core who could be in front or you could be in front. You should not be in front. If you want to go ward that tower or something, or like see if they're still there, set your Brewmaster or someone, right? Someone who has a BKB and an ult that can get out. You are not that guy. And now you don't have buyback either. You can see who has buyback, right? If anyone was going to do it, it should be someone with a buyback. But I don't think it was necessary for anyone to do. Now he got out. You could have possibly lifted that Dazzle, preventing him from graving, right? But your impact was lost because you died too soon. Now you guys will probably lose this, because now you can't really contest at all. Pretty sure this game's done. Yeah, you guys are kind of like snowballing deaths. So once you lost the second set that badly, I didn't think you guys could come back. If you don't die right here, you may... I'm not saying you will win the game, but you won't lose quite yet. If you don't go out here and you stay back here and then Wind Ranger respawns and you guys just keep clearing out waves, clear out the mid wave when it comes in, eventually they'll back off. Or they'll realize, hey, we're not really doing anything, right? Or they'll dive too hard or something like that. And then you maybe have a chance to come back. But by you dying out here, that eventually snowballed to, like, losing this set of racks. And then dying again. At this point, it doesn't really matter. But dying again, and then, like, now they're constantly fighting with a numbers advantage, right? For that moment, when you were alive, before you died, you were at 4v4. And she was almost alive. And Lion TP'd back, so he can't join the fight for a long time. So you have the chance for a 5v4, unless they back off, which is good for you. You're getting more time. Or they take a 5v4, which is a potential chance to come back. But by dying first, you kind of, like, seal the deal. Which, I don't mean to blame on you, like, oh, this one mistake lost the entire game. But I would definitely say it was a big mistake to lose the game at the end. Your team also made some mistakes earlier that kind of led your whole team to be at this position. But in terms of like things you could individually do, like your individual impact, this death was a pretty big one. Just knowing as a support, whenever you're in this like position of like, man, we have to defend these and we can't leave base, just don't leave base. Commit to it, you know? Especially when you still think they're right outside. Just stay in your base and let someone else be brave and go outside. Someone else who can't lift and fade bolt and steal spells to try to assist your teammate, right? But if you're the one who goes out and gets caught, who can help you? Only Treant, maybe. Got a long video. Game over. Yeah, so I think that one came down to Timbersaw got really ahead, which wasn't your fault. And honestly, your early game choices were alright, I think. Like getting those kills bottom and so on. But your whole team, not just you, I think my game's frozen, but I can still talk. This is kind of one reason I put in a face cam, so you can see my ugly face talking and that the video is still going. Your whole as long as one person on your team knows it and communicates to everyone, then your team can act on it, right? So if you can be that one person who says, guys, Timbersaw is so ahead right now, we cannot fight him. If he comes to bottom lane, we go top and mid, right? And we push those out and we trade towers, we trade farm until we can then fight later in the game. If you can be the one person who has that knowledge, then your entire team can play with that insight and it gives your team direction. And that would like hugely improve your chance to win this game, right? You guys had a chance to win playing unoptimally. So imagine what you could have done if you played better. So that's not strictly a Rubick thing to do better. That's just like a player in general. Rubick things in general, your build, I think I went enough on that throughout the video though. Getting the Soul Vessel early I think would have been really big. And if not that, then just like Blink, Glimmer, Force Staff, something like that. Aether Lens would have been okay too. With an Aether Lens, you could you would have an easier time stealing from safety and also then clearing waves from safety. Fade bolting and using Timbersaw ultimate from a distance. I actually forgot to look at your talents. What did you get? $200 health, 125 cast range, 5 fade bolt. What's the other one? Damage. So yeah, I agree with that. Looking at your skill build, I think that's fine too. Yeah, so your skill build I don't have an issue with. A couple cases where I thought your spell stealing could be a little bit better, but overall that was alright. Spell usage in general was alright. So it kind of came down to like positioning and how to play the map, which is more general, not so much Rubick specific. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Hope that helped. Thanks for watching these super long videos. And this, I don't know why my hair looks so bad right now. Maybe it's just always ugly and I just don't see it. That is a shame though. Thanks for watching.